There goes my charger.
GG's. Like, no. But hey guys, welcome back to the BuzzFCA podcast.
What's up?
For 2023.
Oh my god, has it really been that long?
Yeah, it's been that long. It's kind of crazy.
When was the last time you did the podcast video?
Probably like the beginning of the semester.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So it's been a whole semester since we've done one together, at least, because I know you wanted to do that what's it called, the solo episode.
Yeah, I just didn't have any time. But
neither did I.
That's okay. Yeah.
But it's okay, we're here now. So for those of you guys who are new to the BuzzFCA podcast, for those who are unfamiliar with FCA, we are the Filipino Cultural Association here at the University of Maryland College Park. We embrace our culture to the UMD community and create everlasting memories while doing so. This podcast will expose you, our viewers, or listeners about our community and lifestyles by the general body, for the general body.
Yes, thank you so much, David, for our spiel.
Of course.
We gotta make sure our new viewers and returning viewers knows what's going on and why we're doing this. So our followers better learn that spiel, just like how we are. Moving on with our icebreaker for this episode. David actually thought of this one last night. He said, would you rather go back in time with the knowledge you currently have or stay in the era as a child again? So either wanting to go back in time with like what you know right now, or just continue
living on this era with that like childhood mind again, childhood innocence and stuff.
I think honestly maybe I'd stay in the era as a child again, because if I go back in time with knowing what I know now, I don't think it wouldn't be as exciting as it would be. It wouldn't have the same like feeling or experience if I had like all the knowledge I have now, or like it wouldn't be like as sentimental as it would be. So
one of my sometimes I'd be daydreaming or actually dreaming about this type of question, and every single time it's like I like travel back in time to like my elementary school and I like talk to one of my elementary school teachers, and they're like, and I tell them that like, hey, I'm maybe like, so I'm in the body of a child, but like I have the mind of like me now.
Boy.
And then I'm just like, yo, I'm actually a 21-year-old just in my younger self's body. And they're like, no, I don't believe you. And then I do some calculations. They're like, oh my god, how do you know how to do that? And I'm just like, bro, yeah,
big brain.
So in a way, I kind of want to go back in time with the knowledge I currently have to flex.
Oh my god.
But also to relive like fun childhood memories, because I feel like those things, like the memories I've made like when I was a child, were just so far long ago, that like elementary school was like 10 years ago, which is like a long time ago, but compared to like the rest of my life, it's only a fraction, but it feels like centuries ago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look where we are right now. We had so many memories here before they reconstructed this place. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, where are we right now?
Oh, we're at the Wheaton Library in Wheaton.
If only you guys knew what it was like way back when.
Yeah.
It was old and crusty, dusty, and now it's new, and there's a gym right next to us. So.
Yep, they're together, and there's like upstairs and like a weight room and all these fancy glass places that we are in right now. So there's that. Ooh. Questions that we asked last night. Every time like in the new year comes in, everyone's always asking like, okay, new year, new me, but like, how does one keep up with those goals going into the new year and trying not to like be less or more motivated to continue it, if that makes sense. So he asked like, what do you plan to do to keep up with your goals for the year? And there's a good amount of people that did respond, which is really great.
That's amazing.
The one person, Helena. Hey, Helena. Slay.
I hope Mexico is treating you well.
Mexico slay. I'm jealous. She says, put my mental health first. I can't keep up I can't keep up / compete with my goals without a healthy mind. That is very good. I like that.
I like that too. That's big facts. That's actually very relatable with my own, goals of 2023 as well. I was just gonna say, like, I feel like mental health has always been like a main goal everyone has, like with the new year. Yeah.
Oh, that's it?
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
LOL.
Next question we have is
Right, we're trying to get aid.
I'm actually gonna do two because one of them is very, very short but very, very very iconic. DJ Pravi. Shout out to DJ Pravi. He says, "Be better for real."
For real.
Dude, straight facts. So Floricel also says, one of her goals to help her keep keep at those goals is I plan to make visual reminders like signs, sticky notes, or notifications, and also planning milestones for specific goals. Yeah, that's so cool. And I think kind of adding on to that, it's like when you reach a milestone, it's a way for you to kind of reward yourself. So that also provides like an incentive for you to keep at it. Right? Like, let's say you want to go to the gym. I feel like the classic example of New Year's resolution is like, oh, I'm gonna be fit. But it's like you reach, like, let's say you're lifting, right? And you reach like a certain weight that you wanted to lift, then it's like, yay, good job. And then, I don't know, you've been working so hard. Why don't you treat yourself?
Exactly.
Stuff, Yeah, keeping at it doesn't have to be like, oh, I have to be at it like consistently 100% of the time. It's like, it's not really up and down, but it's like you gotta have that balance of like, gotta grind but also gotta rest.
Honestly, I love this, like having physical reminders with the whole sticky notes and like being like very like giving yourself incentives to yourself for all those milestones, even though like the what David said, like how the gym is like a pretty prominent like goal for everyone every year, and they can go at their own pace and you'll get there eventually. And it's good. I mean, honestly, I think it's good to have like physical reminders, because it's like not on your phone, because most of the time a lot of people forget when they put it on their phone. So this is actually, I like this one. Good answer.
Yay, shout out to Floricel.
Shout out to Floricel. Good job. So our last one, Andre says, managing a time schedule to accommodate time slowly for it also helps. Oh my god. I think, well, this is actually a good one. I used to do this myself for managing time, like scheduling that's like towards like studying, and like over the years I've managed to figure out like my average like hours on how long I usually take to study, and then also with planning things out, also finding like an average time that me and my friends are usually hanging out, so it's like something that's accurate. So that's good. I don't know what else to say.
I'm very similar, and I think this was more prominent for me like back in high school, where my schedule was very set, like every day. Like everything was relatively the same. It was like school, and then after school it was like an extracurricular, whether it be like a lead or like sports, and then after that it would be like I go home and I do schoolwork. Things didn't really start like I don't want to say like I didn't have a social life as much like back then, because I did, but I think things started picking up when I was a junior senior, when I started driving more.
In high school?
Yeah, in high school. Because I had a lot more independence and freedom like on the road, so I can spend a lot more time with like my friends and things like that. So we would more often than not like go out to like like Rockville, like the spot, et cetera. And I think that's kind of where that time management side of me kind of dipped, because I didn't really know how to accommodate for that. And then it would also like happen at like a case-by-case basis, where I mean obviously I didn't like sacrifice like school or like extracurriculars for them, because I remember one of my friends was like, hey, can we hang out? And I was like, I have I have practice.
Good
multiple
excuse.
times.
Very good excuse.
But it's not like I didn't want to hang out with that friend. I actually really did, but I had prior commitments. So
yes, priorities.
Just figuring out like when to spend time with people, when to do work, when to have, like, exercise. For me, like, that's very important, and I think a lot of that has to do with like planning ahead. Especially with like planning stuff with your friends. Like, you don't want to be like, oh, impromptu plans, like we're getting food in 1 hour. And I was like, what? Like, that happened once, and I was like, what?
Aww.
Okay,
no,
okay.
yeah
But
sometimes it works out, but it's like there might be other times when you're like time crunch and like things happen.
More often than not, things like that don't always happen in the way that you expect. So
before we get into anything else, if you guys don't remember, on the live stream back earlier in the semester, David got picked to be like having his hair dyed or whatever. But we're not doing it in this podcast. We're gonna have a separate video, like, cross fingers, we'll like record it and everything. So what?
I'm gonna be very excited for that when that happens. Haha.
Yes.
Haha.
It'll be very fun.
It's gonna be so fun.
Yes. We were gonna do it today, but then I was like, but we were like, I don't know how to do that, and
neither do I. So we're seeking trained professionals.
We're gonna find a professional to do it, and it'll look good. It
will look good. I remember I was talking to someone about this, and do you follow BTS? Were you there at BTS like during their like run era, I Need You era?
Like Jimin?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Like Jimin's orange.
Oh my god. That's like orange. Oh.
Not really.
You want it to be like
it's
that like sticker orange, like your Grubhub sticker?
Actually, that's a nice orange.
Lord and Savior.
I don't know if the camera can see this.
Lord and
sticker.
Savior. Yeah. You guys, that's too orange.
No, it's not. Yeah. You want to like light orange? Like.
How about like a dark? How about like? Well, this is like brown. It's like brown.
Yeah.
How about like this, but like maybe a little lighter? Fine.
How was your 2022? What did you learn from the year that you could take into this year?
2022 was good. There was a lot. Oh, sorry, There was a lot of bittersweet moments, but I think it was a really good year to grow and have a lot of opportunities in the year. I'm definitely thankful that I went through the things that I went through this year, and it brought me to where I am today. And I just have to learn that I don't know, things happen, and if it happens, like, it'll help you in a way in the future wise.
Yeah. I agree.
How about you, Mr. David?
To be honest, 2022 was not the most ideal year for me, but I think what you said about 2022 being like this opportunity for you to learn and grow, I think that I experienced that a lot more than I would say like quote unquote fun memories. Because a lot, like, especially being a junior in college, like a lot of things start picking up, whether it be like school, and I'm also on FCA e-board, so figuring that out. E-board is always going to be pretty strenuous, but it's still really fun, and it's also a learning process. But I've had to learn a lot about myself and my limits and my capabilities as an e-board member, as a FCA general body member, and just as a person in general. So yeah, learning process.
Learning slay.
Growth,
we love that.
Character development.
We're always growing, and look where we are now. It's good.
Indeed.
We're getting somewhere.
Yes, sir.
We love that. Moving on with our other questions, were there highlights of your 2022, lows, and maybe one big lesson? I mean, even though we like trickled into like learning lessons for last year, was there like a big one that you like really stuck out to you that year?
I see. Okay, so I'll just go Sorry. I'll just go in order from highest, lowest, and biggest lesson. So highest highlights of the year. I can't really pick one.
Oh wow. Okay, David.
Also, my memory is really bad.
Okay, David.
I would say it's probably either gonna be Semi-Heaven Week this year, because I met a lot of people and I like bonded with a lot of people during this Heaven Week, so that was really nice. Or during the summer, where I was kind of reconnecting with my old volleyball friends, because it was like it was a really long time since I've seen them, and all we were doing is like playing volleyball every Friday, every weekend. And I remember there was this one time after we played, we went to like a Safeway or something, like a grocery store, and we got tortillas and we had like a slapping battle.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like on like one of those things on TikTok.
That's funny.
It was really fun. And it was at like 11 at night.
Oh wow, it's typical summer vibes.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh my god. No.
Actually, yeah.
No, yeah. Me. Probably one of the highlights of the year is, for me, I mean, I didn't really do much except like work and like do school stuff this past year. But I mean, one of them is having like a new position at work. So I've been there for like a few months, and the environment is definitely different from what I'm really used to. So I'm like a server most of the time, but then I'm also in the office now. So I get to learn more about like things that happen in the background, like how our money's being made, blah 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 blah.
And this is for
Topgolf.
Yeah. I see.
So it's a really fun experience, and I mean, Topgolf is always giving a lot of opportunities to grow as a person, and I'm super thankful that they were able to let me have a position down in the office, since it's like my first office job, girl job. So there's that. And probably another highlight was when I went glamping or like camping for like Pauline's birthday weekend, or like for one of my close friends' birthdays. It was really fun.
Yay, shout out to Pauline if you're watching this.
Thanks for the equipment.
I miss you. We should hang out again.
We'll have her on the podcast one day.
I really hope so. Yeah. This is like, that's a collab I really want.
Oh,
I really want. So.
Oh, I mean, and then on top of that, I'm also doing another podcast, Positive and Ponder with Pauline. So there's that plug. There's probably a plug somewhere up here. I don't fucking know. But
yeah, check that out too. Yeah. We love supporting other creators.
Yes, and there's an episode with me in it, so you guys should check that out too. So for one of the important questions that we wanted to highlight in this episode is, how can we keep our goals consistently? Honestly, we've asked our viewers, and having so many obstacles in life, it's kind of hard to keep with the goals, since we don't really know what's going to happen in the day. No matter how much we plan and how much we put our time into figuring out other options, there's still obstacles that we are going to be dealt with. So how do you plan to keep up with your goals? Actually, David, what are your goals for this new year?
One of my biggest goals for 2023, or this kind of, I can't really answer this question without talking about 2022, but 2022 was very like low-key. It was kind of a depressing year for me. Okay. It wasn't depressing because it was like, oh, like I'm sad or anything. It was just, there was a lot of personal stuff that I was going through that made things really, really challenging for me to what's the word? Not live, but it was just really challenging. So I think this year, I think my biggest goal is to be more optimistic despite everything that's happened, because I've been talking to some people about this, and they were kind of going through the same things as me, where it was really, really hard for them. But everyone I've talked to was just like, hey, you just have to manifest it. You just have to stay positive and it'll happen. Because if you're only solely focused on like the bad things, then the bad things are going to come around again, and you're going to be like, oh, it's just going to be a cycle of, being upset, sad, and that whole like cycle of suffering again. So if I break apart from that and just be like, hey, I'm going to be more positive, shine some light on like something I haven't really thought about in a way, like in like a more positive light before, then naturally things are going to gravitate towards like the more positive side, you know. And I think just like for me as a person, I'm not a very optimistic person. I'm more of like a realist. I wouldn't say I'm more of a pessimist either.
Okay.
I guess like the way I see things is like based on the reality of the situation. So if the reality of the situation is really like bleak, then I'm just like, oh, this is quite unfortunate. But I think one of my goals, I think, is to have the mental strength to stay positive and be positive and optimistic in those bleak situations. So that's my goal. Are there any ways that I can keep at it? This is really hard for me, I think, to answer this question, because this is something like I'm basically saying I want to change like up my entire mindset, which is always going to be pretty hard. But I think one of my biggest methods, I guess, would be to kind of, I don't really know how to say this, I guess, the right way, but kind of just remembering what 2022 did for me and how, like, the amount of challenges I faced and how, like, a lot of burdens I had to bear during 2022.
Yeah.
Like, I lost a lot of friends. Currently losing like a family member, just some more stuff, a lot of big changes. And I think just remembering all of those different aspects of 2022 is kind of fueling me to be better and be more positive for 2023. So if there's ever a time where it's like, oh, things are really bad, I just be like, hey, it happened already for 2022. Like, this is your chance to change. And also, like, pretty obvious answer, but you know, I'm not alone in any of this, or I'm not really alone, period. So if there are ever like really, really pressing challenges that are in my life, like, I know there's gonna be people around me to support in whatever way like I can. So reaching out to them is also really good. Shout out to Andre and April and Floricel.
Aww, it's so sweet. And you're being optimistic already, so I love that.
Yeah. It's only my 13th day out here.
Yeah, boy, oh boy, that's funny. Yeah. I think I don't know if I have any goals for this year. I mean, now that I'm basically done with school and I'm just waiting to graduate, I think creating a schedule for myself, and well, I'm trying to go to the gym, just being consistent, things like that. And maybe, I don't know, because now it's like I don't have that much responsibilities except like go to work and go to the gym. So I know one thing, I do want to create more content, because this is definitely a year that I can definitely start creating a lot of content. I don't want to be too hard on myself when these things happen, and then if I do, then like I get burnout, whatever. But probably keeping it consistent with the goals that I want is continuing to like make a schedule, try not to be burnt out, and like remind myself like why I'm doing these things. It's honestly it's honestly fueling my passion into what I want to do by giving back to the community and like helping people out in a way. 100%. Yeah, because there was like this conversation I had with me and Pauline and another friend, how they say the person that we were talking to, she was mentioning like how you have to be reminded about like why you're doing it, and like why you deserve like a seat at the table and things like that. I don't know, I feel like there's some connection to it. It's like I have to keep reminding myself like, why am I doing this? Like, I deserve to be like creating these kind of things and like showing what I want to do. Now that I have all this time in the world and like creating like a portfolio, and one day like working with like bigger companies or like other organizations that are pretty well known in the area, to get myself out there for this new year. We don't know what's gonna happen, so
no, we don't.
Well, we will see how this year will go.
Indeed.
Yes.
I think with the context that you talked about it, I think you definitely deserve a seat at the table.
Oh, David.
I think everyone in life deserves a seat at the table. It's whether or not they want to pursue it and like grasp that opportunity, because it's like the opportunity can always present itself, but it's up to you to like be responsible of like getting the most out of that.
And it's like up to how you want to perceive like that seat at the table, and how you're going to be represented, like how you're going to be seen through others in a way.
Yes, indeed.
Slay.
Big slay.
Yes.
Aye. Okay. So another like kind of like a sub question to this is why is it important that we keep at our goals and achieve these goals?
Wait, do you want me to answer or do you want to answer?
I don't have a question, or I don't have an answer to this right now.
Okay.
I'm kind of thinking about it as well. But if you want to answer it.
Oh yeah, no, I got it. I mean, it's important. It's definitely important to achieve like our goals that we have for ourselves, because we know that we can reach it. It's just in the amount of time that we want to do it in. But I mean, eventually we'll get to it. It's something that, I mean, yeah, it's like something that we know that we can get to, but we know that it won't take it won't take too fast, or like it won't take, does that make sense?
Yeah. I think adding on to that, one of the biggest things the definition of a goal itself is like there are some things you want to achieve in the near future, far future, etc. And it's really important to keep at these goals and to try and stay consistent, even though it's okay if there are some hiccups along the road. Like, again, like you don't have to be like super, super consistent 100% of the time. But I think that whole there's the whole saying of like the journey is more frick, how does it go? The journey is more important than destination or something.
Yeah,
whatever. That's probably not the saying, but it's like in the process of trying to achieve these goals, you're actively trying to change yourself in order to become something that you want to be. And I think that in and of itself is really remarkable and admirable, because it allows for an opportunity for yourself to grow as a person and to grow into the best you can be, like for the future. At least for me, it's like I want to be more positive and I want to be more optimistic. And I think that with everything like within me that I know is like really amazing and positive and super swaggy,
slay,
will just be like just kind of add on to that. But also like I don't want to be very like blinded by the fact that it's like, oh, like I'm achieving these goals, why can't other people do it, right? So just understanding other people and being humble is also something important to me.
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, I also think that the process of getting to the goal is way more important, because like the processes between other people can be different, so it's a unique experience and we're all achieving like a similar goal in a way. So it shapes you or whatever.
I mean, no, it does. You're right. Like it's okay for like, man, I'm just spewing out like
no, say it. Speak your truth, stuff, David.
It's like every journey begins with a single step, right? But not every journey is going to be the same. And so everyone's goal, even though everyone's goals might be the same, like their approaches to reach that goal are more often than not, not going to be the same. And that's okay, because whatever that process is for someone could be more, I guess, effective for one person than it could be for another. But at the same time, it's a process in which they chose to, pursue and like to go forth with. And I think having the courage and having the diligence and drive to kind of pursue all of that knowing that there will be obstacles, knowing that there will be things in the way, knowing that at any point in time you can stop, and they still decide to do it, is like, it's amazing.
No, yeah.
It's kind of sick.
Oh shit.
Shout out to those guys who are that passionate, that driven.
Slay. So. Shout out to y'all. We appreciate it. Where are we gonna eat? I totally forgot.
Nando's.
Nando's.
Is it Nando's or Nando's?
Hey yo, put in the comments. Was it Nando's or Nando's? We were thinking about where we were gonna eat today, so.
Same. Pasta or pasta.
Yeah, pasta.
People in Canada say pasta.
The hell? Well, we're in America.
That's true.
Pasta. And it's pasta, our time.
Whoa, what a segue.
Definitely, if you guys like these things, please comment, like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do to keep up with BuzzFCA.
Indeed.
Or even the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be on Spotify. I mean, we are on Spotify, so if you guys would like to check out the recent episodes, definitely check them out.
Keep an eye out for Second Look Fair, which is kind of like, if you know what First Look Fair is, in the fall, it's the same thing, but in the spring. So a lot of the organizations like are on like McKeldin Mall. They just promote their organization stuff. So it's like, it's the same thing except for second semester. So keep an eye out for that. The first GBM of the year is going to be not the Thursday we get back, but the week after. So I think February 2nd.
Okay, slay. Yeah. February 2nd.
So keep an eye out for that, y'all.
Keep an eye out, and we'd love to see everybody.
Yeah, and if you haven't followed our socials, it's... So FCA, our Instagram is going to be FCA_UMCP. And then for BuzzFCA, it's just BuzzFCA.
BuzzFCA. Oh, and then speaking of the podcast, we have a Google form.
Yes, sir.
Yay, Google form slay. For anyone who'd like to be a guest on our podcast, if you guys are passionate with anything that you would like to splur on one of the episodes, please fill out the Google form, and we would love to see what you will bring to the table. So we need more dynamic instead of just me and David, you know?
I also really like talking with you guys, like actually in person, so.
Yeah, and we like to have it on the screen. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. This is our time to leave.
Yes.
Bye. See you next episode.
See ya.